Alright, hello guys and girls, this is Example and I'm bringing to you the Chicken Cube 3.0. That's right, we're going to do some updates and I'm going to show you how to build this in the latest update. So let's check that quickly. Let's bring up our screen. Yep, 14W08A is what we're on right now. So just wanted to show you that it still actually does work. Alright, so here we go. Now we're looking at two different designs here at the moment. The one we're looking at in the middle here is the one that I'm going to show you how to build. Now the one over here is a little bit more, well, it's a little bit more advanced. In fact, you can actually shove a bunch more chickens in here. Well, twice as many chickens in this one as you can in that one. Also, I want to show you the pros and cons of these designs. Now they are 3x3x3. They are the smallest fully automatic chicken farms. And they are still working, as you can see here. And yeah, so let's go ahead and have a look at this. Now I'll bring back my little screen here. So we've got chickens going in the chest, cooked chickens. There we go. Now they have a clock, and we can turn that back on by clicking on the lever there, and that one over there. Sweet. There we go. Now they're working again. Let's get away from those guys. They're very messy machines, actually. So before I get into showing you how we build this thing, I want to explain a couple of things to you. Let's head away from the chickens so it's not so noisy. Now, previously, when we made this machine, we had something like this. And on top we had that's a dropper. Let's grab a dispenser. No, it's still a dropper, a dispenser. And what's happened is Mojang, or Mojang? I don't know, how do you say it? I don't know. I'm not from that country. Don't know how it's pronounced. They have changed the game, and if you do something like this now, which is what we have been doing, and actually in the 2.0 version I have done this. So you put eggs in here and you fire them into the cauldron. Now previously the chickens would stay alive. Now, if we do this, let's grab ourselves a chicken spawn egg. There we go. And just throw a bunch of those in there. The chickens die automatically, straight away. They pretty much die on contact with them, so we can't do this anymore. And that's part of this is part of the reason why I'm showing you how to build this one here. Right. So let's destroy all that and not worry about those those poor chickens that died in this show. Okay, so the next step is I need to explain to you a little bit what's going on here. Now I'm going to turn these back off because that clicking is just diabolical. Off. Now this one over here, I've got two cauldrons. Now we actually have the same amount of chickens, but I found that by spreading the chickens over like this, the eggs come through a little bit faster, and the chickens seem to go through a bit faster. I'm not exactly sure why yet, but yeah. So you could actually stack 3 cauldrons in here like this, but I would not recommend it. What I found is that somehow the eggs make their way into the clock and stuff up the clock, so you can't actually have one there, but you could if you wanted to try it. And yeah, so it's pretty simple. This is another simple design. Now I'm going to show you how to build this one here, and also I'm going to show you how I would actually use this farm on my server, because yeah, it's a 3x3x3, it's standalone. You can actually have it like this, but what I found is we get items firing out the back here, and we lose chicken out the back and feathers out the back, and that's just it's just a con of the device. It's not really super efficient, but it's super compact. So for you who have got no space, and I've heard a few of you say you don't, then this is what you can use. Now let's go have a look at how this is put together. So once again, this is a little bit hard to explain. Now I've got a chest right there, and I have 2 hoppers facing into it. So let's just put those down again. So I've got one facing into that chest there, another one facing into that hopper there. And so that they are not connected in any way to these hoppers and that dropper. So here we have another 2 hoppers facing into a dropper. So that dropper's facing up, and we've got 2 hoppers facing into that. And that's pretty much the bottom layer. Now the next layer is we've got a cauldron on top of this hopper, and it's a little bit more complicated here because you can't actually see what's going on. Let's break that there. So we've got a dropper which is facing towards us in this direction, and what I need now is a dispenser to replace the one I just broke off. And this dispenser is facing in towards this cauldron here. So how it works is when an egg comes through here, gets laid, it comes into this hopper, goes along, goes to this dropper. When the clock starts firing, it powers this dropper here, which also powers the bottom one, so it basically sucks items upwards and then forces them into this dispenser. And because this item's getting powered, it also powers this dispenser, and it fires the eggs into the cauldron. Alright, and we've got a glass block here above the chest, so the chest can still open, and also to stop eggs from firing out the front. We've got a switch which turns the hopper clock on and off. We've got two hoppers facing into each other, as you can see there, and a comparator, which is what actually fires the whole system off. Now that's pretty simple. On the top layer we've got a half slab above the cauldron. Now that's so our chickens can breathe and not die and suffocate like you've just seen. I've just put glass all the way around the top just so you can see what's going on, and then of course a lava block above the cauldron. So that's it. That's pretty simple. It's still pretty much similar to the original, but this one has a clock. Now the original design actually still works, believe it or not, it does. But the problem with the detecting eggs when a chicken lays an egg, well, it has changed a little, and eggs seem to go through the system a lot quicker than they used to, and don't always fire off the comparator. Anyway, let's go ahead and build one of these. So I'm just going to try and explain this as I go. I'm going to place my chest here like that, and right away I'm going to go and break these two blocks and place two hoppers facing into that chest. By holding down shift, I can right click and place those hoppers. Now I'm going to place my dropper, which is going to be facing upwards. Well, not like that, like that. And then I've got two more hoppers facing in towards that dropper there. Okay, so that's fantastic. Now next we need to place another dropper facing towards us. Nope, towards us. And what that's going to do is it's going to allow the items to come back towards us. And yeah, I know you might be thinking, hang on, but what's going to happen is when you place down the dispenser, the item's just going to get sucked back down into this hopper. Well, it potentially and possibly does, but it still makes its way through into the cauldron, which we're going to place now in the center. And that cauldron is where the new chickens get laid, and they'll end up inside there, and when they grow up, their heads will touch the lava and die. Now we're going to place a comparator there, and this is what is going to power this whole system. So that's pretty much the main part of it done. Another cauldron here, and that is for the chickens which lay the eggs. Let's throw one in there just for fun. And out the back here we need to place a see you later, bud. We need to place a little hopper clock. So we're going to place two hoppers facing into each other like that, and that's going to start firing that off. So we can actually place an item in there. I'm going to place in one emerald actually, because that's better. And to turn this thing off, we'll just place down a lever there, and there we go, done. Now I am using glass because I wanted to show you how it looks inside. You can use whatever you want. So I'm pretty much done with those hoppers now. Get rid of those. Glass there is very important, otherwise you'll find eggs and chicken will fire out the side. And yeah, like I said before, the only problem with this design is because we have to have a comparator here, we have leakage out the back, and that's the only place where things fly out, apart from the eggs, which will fly out in every direction out this side here. Okay, so around the top we're going to place some glass, except for over the cauldron where the chickens that lay the eggs are. And then we need to place a half slab. Where's one of those? Half slab over the top of that cauldron. Well, upside down half slab, I guess is what you call it. And that'll allow the chickens there to survive. And then the lava goes in the middle like so. And that's it. That is the Chicken Cube 3.0. Now, how I would get chickens in here now, since you can't place a dispenser on top to fire the chickens into it, you can place one from the side. That sort of then changes the whole shape and size of the design. That is a temporary way to do it. Then once you've done, you can break that block. Or if you want to do it without causing too much issues, what you can do is, let's say we haven't placed a lava in yet, and we're still building this. Machine up. What we can do is, before we build the top layer, we need to place a half slab there. That has to be there. We can actually, instead of having this dispenser facing into this cauldron, you can actually just temporarily face it this way. So if I shift click into there, the dispenser is now facing into this cauldron, and you can now load up, let's see, eggs. Let's grab a stack of eggs. You can now load this machine up with tons of eggs, and this is probably going to be the easiest way for you to do this, I think, in survival. And then you turn the machine on, and the eggs will fire into here. Your chickens will start to hatch. Let's see if we can get some hatches. Come on, hatch. It takes so many eggs to get a chicken. Come on. There's one. Alright, that's how you do it. That's how you get them in there. Once that is finished, well, let's say it's finished, because I'm not going to do this for the whole time. You remove that dispenser, and then you replace it back facing into the cauldron in the center, like so, and then finish off placing your blocks around the top, like so, and then place your lava back in the middle, and then you're ready to go. So now all the eggs which are laid by those chickens there will go through the system and then end up being fired into the central cauldron. And let's see if we can get some there. Might not be able to see them, but there are definitely some getting hatched in there now. And when they grow up, they will get cooked and thrown into this chest here. Alright, pretty simple. Let's go check on these guys over here. Now this is what I mean. It's kind of leaky. There's some eggs up there. So before I actually turn this on, what I want to see is if the egg ends up in this. No, it's not going to get sucked in. It can though, and that's what the problem is. If you put another cauldron here, those eggs will end up inside here and ruin this clock. Anyway, however, it's working fine. We've got cooked chickens. Perfect. Sweet. Now, how I would use this design. Let's say we've just built this one, and I want to place this in my base. Sorry, my keyboard and mouse is being a little bit derp. How I'd use it is I would actually change this a little bit. I would get rid of this chest, and I would relocate the direction of that hopper. I'd place my chest right there, and I'd place the hopper facing into that chest. I hope this is not too confusing, because I've shown you this design. Now I'm changing it, I'm modifying it a little bit. So now that hopper is facing into that chest there, so any cooked drops will now end up over here instead of around the front. And I can now just block that off. Don't really need that. Actually, you know what? This would make it a little bit more, I guess, it'll work a little bit better. So if I... No. Because what we're going to end up is going to get cooked chicken going in there as well, so I don't really want that. So let's just block that off. We don't need that. Get there. Okay, so there we go. And now what's going to happen is my cooked chicken is going to be here. And if I wanted to, I could do what I've done down there, and I can actually place another bunch of laying chickens in here by taking this hopper and facing it into the side here. So I'm holding a shift, clicking in that. So now eggs would go this way. I can place another cauldron on top of there, and then I'll just replace this glass with another upside down half slab, like so. So now I've got the option of having more chickens. And then what I'd do is I'd shove it in a wall. Yeah. And you might be saying, why shove it in a wall? What block should I use? I'm going to use this block just because I've never used it in a build before. And the reason being is I don't want to lose those drops, and it's a really small design, and I want to put it in the wall, and I'm going to make it more efficient that way. So I'm just going to basically do this. Let's say this is the front of my wall, and so you've just basically dug this into the side of the wall here, and it would be also covered over like so, and along the back. Now I wouldn't use these blocks to do this. You just dig a hole in the wall, which is 3 by 3 by 3, and jam the cube directly into it, and you'll be fine. Alright, so something like that. And what that now does is it makes this machine super efficient. I need to put this over here. I need to. And it makes it super efficient because now the drops can't fire out through this where the comparator is, and they will get picked up if they are sitting out there. And yeah, and the eggs won't go firing around the place. They'll end up going into the hoppers and getting sucked through the system. So there you go. That's it. Turn it on and walk away. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial slash informative exercise, because yeah, it still works. So don't tell me it doesn't. You've probably done it a little bit wrong if you can't get it to work. And like I said, the original one still works, and this is on the latest snapshot in 1.8, and it's still working fine. Alright, I'll catch you next time. Later.